Hi guys, sorry about that. This is Breaker, and I'm back with another replay that I took from the casted section of Reddit, where you can submit all your replays to be casted by the community. For the uploader, his name was Goff, G-O-F, and I'm gonna go ahead and give both players their introduction. Lower right-hand corner, we have HellVolution. Yes, HellVolution. Name with a very interesting twist to it. In the upper left-hand corner, I give you all our turn. The blue trunks, barcode, SWEKOR barcode. Now, I do want to say that my main race is Zerg, and the reason why I chose to go ahead, upload, and cast this one and upload it to YouTube is because this is not a part of my main race, so this is actually going to take me a bit out of my comfort zone. And right now, I'm also going to basically mention now that I'm using a different microphone from what I would normally use. What I usually use is my SteelSeries Siberia headset, but that picks up on every single puff of air that comes out of my mouth, so every time I talk it sounds like I'm breathing into the microphone. Also, if I keep it just, you know, underneath my chin, it doesn't really pick up on the sound of my voice as much as it should. And right now I'm using a microphone that just kind of clips on to any piece of my clothing or wherever I choose to place it. Just a little bit more convenient. Okay, and we have this probe coming down here to annoy the crap out of our barcode Terran. Pulling 2 SCVs already. I'm wondering, are we going to see like maybe a... Oh no, we weren't going to see a pylon block. Well, I mean, even if there was a pylon block, what the Terran could do is simply go ahead and build the command center right next to it. But back at home we have, I guess we could say, a quintessentially basic opener coming from HellVolution, very standard one at that. Single gas thus far. I'm a little curious as to whether or not he's going to be taking a second one in the near future. Oh, well, I guess I should probably give you guys an introduction to myself. I am a 24-year-old college undergraduate student, and I am hoping that I will be able to cast for the Neo TV Star League in English, or even if, you know, if my Chinese gets there one day, maybe even cast it in Chinese, you know, maybe, I guess you could say a guest caster or a piece of variety. But as you may have guessed by now, my major is a foreign language, yes, Chinese. I originally began learning because I met this beautiful girl whose parents couldn't speak English, and I figured I'd learn it to meet them. Immature ideas and how they never seem to work out, guys. Sorry. Okay. So there we have the cybernetic score already down for HellVolution, our red toss. It looks like I did just encounter a slight hiccup not too long ago. And we have Zealot number 1 arriving at the natural. Well, main moreover, but it didn't really prevent anything. Maybe it got a single SCV kill. Let's see. Yes, it did. It got one. That's it. Now, what these two Zealots can do that is feasible right now is perhaps coming down here and, you know, taking a few shots, a few swipes at the orbital command here, forcing it to lift off, as they have done so. But if they had done it sooner, they would have kept the mule from coming down, you know? And that would mean that the Zealots would have paid for themselves coming into this aggression. Now, this is a little bit of an interesting opener, something I don't see too frequently. But I imagine our uploader is actually GOF, the barcode player. He's already doing, you know, he's doing a triple orbital, there I go again, guys, triple orbital command. It looks like, you know, I'm a little curious, what exactly is HellVolution doing this versus Goff? I'll just call him Goff, GOF. I'm hoping he doesn't mind me calling him that. But, you know, this is kind of gonna be a good contain, I guess you could say. A very effective one for the time being. It is kind of delaying, well, it's preventing workers from being pulled, but of course, damage it's doing is also rather high. Whoa, 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 whoa. If the SCVs get pulled, that would be even bigger. Warp Gate tech is almost finished, and it looks like, yes, a few SCVs do get pulled, and 2 or 3 of them do fall in the process. Maybe 4? Wow, 5 altogether up until this point. SCVs are being pulled and put on the natural, I think. No, it looks like they were pulled by accident, perhaps. It was a misclick, mismicro. Can't really blame our Terran for that. But Warp Gate tech is almost finished. We don't have these 2 Warp Gates finished, though, the ones that are back at home for HellVolution. So I'm thinking there's a good period of time where we could see the pylon here taken down, but no, there's a stalker ready to kite as many Marines as it needs to prevent that from happening. I just, wow. This is a very aggressive opener, to say the very least, from HellVolution. Perhaps he just took advantage of that simply due to the fact that his opponent was going with, you know, he had an orbital command at the natural. I think in all that he ended up lifting off because, you know, he just realized he could end up taking some damage. So now we have a probe coming out here and double forge going down at home. In the words of Apollo SC2, this typically means that a Protoss is aiming to end game with Sky Toss, or perhaps make a quicker, slightly quicker jump to it. And HellVolution just doing whatever he can, really, to annoy the heck out of his Terran. Already throwing down a pylon. And it looks like the gateway units are now being pushed back! Want to keep those sentries alive with your Protoss, really, because they are not cheap. They cost 100 minerals, 50 gas. And yes, this is just a replay, guys. Nothing too terribly special about it. Ooh, wait. What's going on here? Okay, looks like that Zealot was warped in as a distraction, kind of getting some vision and allowing the Stalkers to do some more damage. Altogether, up until this point, we see that Protoss has lost more units, so it's a little hard to say just who lost more in all of this, but of course, the worker count is in favor of our Protoss. So assuming that he can just defend whatever may be coming his way in the near future, he'll be in good shape. We also see 4 more Stalkers warping in over here at the 3rd position. Interesting choice. Is he going to really try to continue with the aggression? I mean, with Bunker, Marines get extended range, do they not? Just what I remember. And the orbital command's gonna come down here, try and land. Oh, but ooh, the Stalker's coming up here trying to poke. One of them worn down to 8 health on its shields, and that is it. Now the orbital command is stuck over this pylon, not quite gonna land. Not for the time being anyway. So this is actually doing, you know, this is doing economic damage. 100 minerals does that. And we're not gonna see mules getting thrown down for a while. Okay, it looks like we have units warping in here to basically just annoy the heck out of Goff yet again. Factory now going down here at the natural. That's the first significant tech up we see, but we also have combat shields and stim going down, and it looks like they could end up finishing at about the same time. So I'm wondering, is Goff like gearing up for some kind of a timing of some sort? Let's see. There are double engineering bays, but +1/+1 is not being researched. It was not researched to begin with. And just as I say that, +1 goes down, and so does +1 for armor. 3rd going down as well for HellVolution. Excellent choice, really. Brave choice, to say the very least. And the Stalkers come here and see that the rock tower has been destroyed, creating destructible rocks. And I think Goff is completely unaware of this. Alright, now let's go back home, see what we have coming for our Protoss behind all this. Ground armor level 2. This signals to me that ground weapons level 1 may not have been researched. No, it did. It did, actually. I do apologize for making that mistake. Such a terrible caster, guys. Stalkers poke up here, just see how much bio there is. Behind this, we also have Blink going down, and a lot more gateways being tacked on as well. Meanwhile, for Terran, we see that concussive shells are being thrown into the mix as well. I mean, there's only one Marauder in this entire composition. It looks like the entire army is stimming up, and this may have been a slight overextension. Man, wow. If I may for just a minute, if concussive shells had just finished a split second sooner, then let me tell you, I think, and if there were more Marauders in the mix, that could have done a lot of damage, because we just now see Blink finishing up. And it's little things like this that make the difference between victory and defeat for, you know, games that are this close. Now there's a supply depot being thrown down. It looks like it's going to be... Oh, the SUV that was on it was shut down. And it looks like it doesn't even get canceled. Oh no, oh no! But this huge force is getting surrounded from both sides. And I think that was a bit of an early and somewhat over-aggressive stim. And that is the beauty of concussive shells with Marines, guys. The Marines act like, I don't know, it's like those C-14 Gauss rifles or Piranhas when you hit the stim pack. And you know what? Marauders are glue. No, they're not glue. They are essentially gum stuck on the bottom of a shoe. As you can see, Blink helps the Stalkers get away one by one, but I think that, I don't know, I think our turn is stimming just a little bit too much. That Marauder did just get focused down, but it looks like slowly but surely this is going to entirely favor Goff in this engagement. Look at this. He's picking them off just one at a time, and now we see charge going down for Protoss behind this. And essentially, Goff now has a huge lead, at least in terms of army count. The question is, are we going to see any, what's the word I'm looking for, any AoE? And if we do, when will it be out? Oh no, he's looking like he's waiting for charge to finish up, and that's not a bad idea, but he needs to throw down some force fields. It looks like for now these force fields will work against him, as it will essentially shut him down, keeping him from getting to his third, and that third looks like it is going to fall. But what about the main Bioforce left over? If we can see HellVolution with a way to take down that Bioforce, he may be in a good position. Charge is almost finished. It just finished, and now it looks like these medevacs are going to pick up and save all but a handful of Marines and Marauders. And these rallied Marauders and Marines are actually kind of in a bad position. Probe coming back, rebuilding the third. Behind this, we can see that the income is actually greatly in favor of Goff right now. I will say that gas has been hindered. Now we see that HellVolution is trying to get his way back into the game using storms, and they can be the one thing that turns the game around. One must simply find a way to make those storms count. And he goes ahead and brings in those High Templar right now, a little bit short, a little bit late actually. It would be better if he actually brought them in maybe 10 in-game seconds ago, simply due to the fact that they need so much time to get Storm up and ready to go. Excuse me, they actually need to get enough energy to get the storms out. I'm sorry, guys. The problem with my casting is I seem to not be able to articulate what I'm trying to say, but now we have 2 medevacs being cranked out at a time, 4 Marauders and 11 Marines being cranked out at a time. Look at all this infrastructure. It's like Goff played a game of Monopoly and went around Go like 10 times. Then he bought everything on the board. Okay, so the High Templar are way here and back, and right now I want to say they've got enough. Yeah, they've got enough energy for just 1 storm each for the time being. But we do have personal cloaking going down. That means the Ghost Academy is ready to go. And there's a lot of charge lots here, but again, they're only nicking away at what's in front. Beautiful storm by HellVolution. He's just gotta, he's gotta assert his hegemony over this half of the map and slowly build and expand his way into the natural of his opponent with the building blocks known as High Templar, but it looks like that may have been an overextension. He could throw down some defensive force fields to get the rest of his forces out, I guess, but just as I said that, he was running out of sentries. Meanwhile, behind us, we do see that a 4th command center has been prepared and ready to go. Goff moving out. A lot of red health Marines, unfortunately, so I think for the time being, he's just going to hold back on engaging. And let me see, is there anything here that makes me think that this is Wings of Liberty? Excuse me, not Wings of Liberty, but Heart of the Swarm. This can't be Heart of the Swarm, not with what we see now. We finally see the Robo Bay going down behind this, so that means we're going to see Colossi, but they're going to come a little bit too late. We do have the Force base down here from HellVolution. It will fall. And it looks like Medevac's Doom Drop is going into the main of HellVolution right now. If he can find a way to shut all those down at the same time, he'd be good to go. But all the Medevacs here are low on HP. That means if the Beautiful Storm goes off, then all the Bio is dead. Slowly but surely taking down that infrastructure. We see the gateways falling one at a time. And the High Templar are struggling to get into position to throw down the storm. There they are. And that deals with the force right now, but the problem is we still also have a huge, I don't know what the word is. The income is just so secure for Goff. And he's also able to create so many units at a time. The question is, when are we going to see +3/+3 going down? Pylon here that was blocking the force is now going to be taken down. And it looks like his aim is to morph that into a planetary fortress, although I'm willing to say I'm wrong with this. It could be simply a macro mistake at this stage of the game that he hasn't figured that into an overall command. But no, it is being morphed into a planetary. +3 armor going down, as well as +3 weapons right now for our Terran. HellVolution, I want to say, on relatively even ground with his opponent, but the biggest problem was, you know, the hits that he took to his gateway count. It's really going to count against him in the later game when he has to remax, especially given the fact that he was not able to destroy any of his opponent's barracks at the same time. It would have been pretty big if he could have maybe gotten a War Prism in back there. And after that, you know, just basically threw away a bunch of Zealots. Just a thought. Just a thought. I mean, basically, the entire Bioforce that we had from Terran was dead after a couple storms anyway. Alright, so what else is there to check out here? Many more barracks being tacked on and ghosts being integrated in was the mix now. Do we have a nuke in production? It looks as though we do not. I'm going to just go ahead and check the units tab right now because nukes do show up as units. Alright, so here we go. Oh man, that ghost. Oh. Making me sweat here, man. Wow, feedback's going down, and the High Templar can't get the storms out. The snipes are beautiful from those ghosts. And the biggest problem that we see now is that HellVolution has only one High Templar left. It's enough for 2 storms. He's got to make them count as best he can. He could probably cast the storm now and it would hit those units that are stimming onto him right now, but it looks like, oh no, is this High Templar going to fall without a oh man, it does. Not even a single storm went down. Now here we go. We have 2 more High Templar in back, and now the boss is just going to mix with extended thermal lance is about to finish. It just does. And it looks like now, I want to say, oh man, that medevac count is accounting for about 16 of the Terran army supply right now, and it looks like Goff is in a bit of trouble. He just needs to make these next EMPs count, because, you know, it looks like we see HellVolution getting into a position where he wants to revolt against this. But again, the player positioning is, it's just so neck and neck. I don't know how to describe it. Alright, so here we go. HellVolution finally on ground, or at least on some kind of a level playing field. There are Vikings just now being integrated with the mix of all the Bio Ball right now, and there's nothing wrong with that right now, because he's got more than enough medevacs to take on this army. It's just that he has to make the little things. He has to make the micro really count against his opponent. He has to make sure that the EMPs hit absolutely fantastically. And it looks like both players are just looking for an engagement point. And wait a minute. It looks like the units are getting spread, and that's a beautiful storm, but unfortunately the High Templar falls right after that. There's still 1 more left, and the EMPs go down on it. That's going to make a huge difference in this engagement. And it looks like all that's left is a few Blink Stalkers. The Charge-Lots charge forward, and it looks like they try to go into the natural here. At least some of them got warped in over there, and there's a Widow Mine here? Wait a minute, I thought this was Wings of Liberty. Oh my god. Sorry guys, I was hearing nothing but Wings of Liberty music, but that's what absolutely threw me off. Alright, so here we go. All the ghosts coming in here, trying to deal with the Zealots as best they can. And the Zealots getting into the main, going for the reactors on these barracks. It's gonna, you know, just put a stop to marine production slightly. It's gonna reduce it by 1 each on both of those, but if you can get this Tech Lab, nah, it's not gonna happen. Tech Lab being rebuilt on one of them, and meanwhile we see HellVolution in a bit of a tough spot right now, at least. I'm not sure quite how. He's double expanding behind this. He wants to try and stay in this game for as long as possible. The question is, where are those scans going down? Right here where they can get a read on his opponent's main army. Lots of Archons entering the mix now, but of course, there's so many ghosts here that I think we're going to see this game come to an abrupt end very soon. There's just so many hard counters right here, and the High Templar are getting taken down very soon. Stalker moves out, pokes out. This is a full energy Templar. Throws down a storm, but only hits a handful of ghosts. Forward Pylon gets taken down, and now the EMPs are so beautiful that this Archon is down to the last 50 of its shields. Colossus in 4th position gets taken down, and that is a beautiful storm, but unfortunately the Vikings are just too many. Another storm going down, and now we have to see a huge warp in. It would probably be okay to pull these rogues to take care of what's left of the ground army, but now there's so many medevacs here that rogues won't be able to do the damage that it takes to take down the Bioforce here. The question is, how much longer is HellVolution going to be able to hold out like this? If he loses no probes here, he might be in an okay position, but it looks like he's forced to pull them and try to engage. EMP goes off just before a Ghost falls, and now we see that even with the pulse around, we are seeing HellVolution in a slowly but surely losing position. Warps in some high tempo on the high ground. The EMPs, non-existent, but it looks like more and more Zealots are slowly but surely warping in. The Archons will be able to clear this up, but the problem is the reinforcements. We have nothing but 8 Ghosts in production right now. We also have a Planetary Fortress coming down, and slowly but surely, I think the numbers are going to go up in favor of Goff. Archon's chasing down what's left of the bio reinforcements, and Stim goes off to get them out of there. Charge Lot's able to chase it down, but, you know, I just don't know where to place this right now. This is going from the late game into the late game. The question is, how does each player follow it up? How does each player transition out of it? I'm not quite sure what was destroyed in terms of infrastructure for HellVolution in that last engagement, but I'm willing to bet it was something that makes Colossi. Yes, there was a bit of sarcasm in that, but you know, I think when he lost the double Robo Bay, that signaled the beginning of the end, and also all those workers. If he could have just pulled them sooner and put them on the mineral patch to get them out of the way, he would have been okay. Looks like we have an orbital command going to try and land down here, but it looks like we're also going to find a penultimate engagement here. There's nothing but ghosts here now. Am I reading this right? Is this just going to be like a straight up micro battle like that? Storm gets a couple of Marines. We can see another couple of beautiful storms that'll be good to go. But again, it was a feedback, and you know, the EMPs, they're just so numerous right now. Archon's getting targeted down by all these ghosts. I think this is perhaps a taunt by Goff. He knows that he killed so much that last attack in terms of infrastructure. Nothing but Zealots warping in right here. And finally, we have a bunch of Marines joining the mix. And speaking of Zealots, that one moves down there to attack, and this orbital command has reached this point now, seeing that there is a Nexus here. And with that, we see Goff appropriately reacting. Going to take that down. HellVolution at 90 supply, as opposed to that of his opponent's 188, 116 of which is actually army supply. So basically, HellVolution is going to be going up against an army that is double his food count. Zealot coming down here. Its harassment will be put down to an end. Bioforce cleaned that up quite appropriately. And now we see, you know, Goff just essentially declaring his hegemony all over the map, Akilon Wastes. Why exactly would anybody want Akilon Wastes anyway if it's nothing but a wasteland? And now we have HellVolution trying to spread all of his units. All these Vikings, all of these medevacs can finally see, you know, just what's up. And it looks like, you know, I would have said if there were more Stalkers, then this orbital command would have been in danger of falling, but neither player producing anything because, I don't know, HellVolution just doesn't have that gas income, and it looks like, Goff was already maxed out, so HellVolution just essentially left the game. Alright guys, so this has been Breaker. I'm hoping to get some feedback for this cast, and I will see you guys next time.